Muzzle training. So whether you've got a dog that needs it for medical use, or maybe you've got a formerly aggressive dog that you've been working with and now you're reintroducing them into the pack and you need that extra safety precaution, it's imperative that that dog is desensitized to the muzzle. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to go about doing that. As always, the precursor to all my videos is your dog needs to know how to walk on a leash and prong collar. Those will be used in the videos. And one more time, if you don't follow my social media, I had a dog bite incident, so I apologize ahead of time for the casts. So the setup's gonna be the same as the counter conditioning. I've got my dog tied to a door handle and he's on a prong collar. I'm gonna sit at the end of that leash and do the muzzle training with him. Just on the off chance that he decides to reach out and bite me, he will literally be at the end of his rope. So there's not gonna be any more room for him to go. So it's just a protection for me, just to make sure that my dog doesn't try to grab me as we're teaching the muzzle conditioning. So the two muzzles I use, one's a basket muzzle and one is a soft muzzle. Both are super effective. It just depends on which one you want to use. This one, obviously, you can still feed the dog. It can still drink water. It can bark and do, you know, what it would normally do. This one closes off everything. A lot of vets use these ones. It just depends on what you're doing and what you want out of your dog. They're both going to create pressure on your dog, which is why this video, conditioning your dog to a muzzle, is incredibly important. If you just throw this on, your dog's gonna, 99% of them are just gonna try and paw it off. So we want our dogs to just not care about these. If I have to put a muzzle on you, I don't want it to matter. I want you just to go about and be your normal dog self, so I can either continue to train you and make progress and have breakthroughs while I'm keeping everybody safe, or little things. Maybe I need to go to the vet and that's an issue for us. And I don't want you to freak out and have a meltdown when we try to put a muzzle on, just so that we can do whatever, you know, medical things that need to happen at the vet. So anyway, this process is really important to condition the dog to a muzzle, whichever one you decide to use. So I use a high value food to train this. I'm gonna use chicken with Hunter today, something outside of just a regular kibble that they really, really enjoy. So chicken is what I'm using. All I want to do is when my dog acknowledges this, when he touches it or even sniffs it, that's when I'm going to give him a reward. Good boy. Good job, buddy. The second that they give any kind of recognition to this is when you reward. Good boy. So just for him doing that, I'm going to reward him. Good job, Hunter. This is all good stuff. Good boy. Good boy. So this touch process, you're gonna repeat over and over and over until the dog just kind of starts coming up and sniffing it on their own. Once they do, then you start putting it on their nose. Good boy. You don't have to leave it there. You just tell them good job for letting you put it on their nose. And he is way more interested in the food than anything. So what I'm gonna do is put food in my hand and set it right there, so he has to stick his nose in the muzzle to get the food. So this is what it looks like. Now he's got to put his nose in there to get the food. Good boy. Good job, buddy. That's a good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Food in my hand. Here you go, baby. Good boy, Hunter. That's a good boy. So he's got no problem with the muzzle, obviously. After you've done that multiple times, you can start marking it and actually calling it muzzle. Once your dog is willingly sticking his nose in there to get the food, you can say muzzle. Once he's doing it really casually, and it's not a big deal at all, then you take the food away and you just call it muzzle. Muzzle. Good boy. And we're gonna do the same thing with this one. Feeding through this is a little bit trickier, but you can still do it. So I'll do the same thing. I'll put some food in my hand. Good boy. That is not the best idea to do if it's an aggressive dog, obviously. I've done it with an aggressive dog before, and because this was a positive reward thing, it really didn't matter. The dog wasn't trying to bite me. He was just excited that he was getting rewarded for something. But obviously, I don't want you to get your fingers chewed off, so just be mindful of how you're actually getting the soft muzzle on your dog. So now I'm just physically holding it on him. I'm gonna give him a reward. I haven't latched it. I'm just putting that pressure on him so it's not coming off. Good boy. So now we've got him conditioned to having the muzzle on and just hanging out. Boy. Good boy. Come on. Good job. Sit. Good boy. For walking, after you get to this point, if your dog starts to paw it off, you don't stop. You keep moving. This is such an important piece. If you stop and just tug on this, your dog is going to stay in that anxious mindset. Walk them through it. Walk your dog through that. As they're trying to paw it off, you're going to pop the leash and say no, no, and you're going to keep walking. So if he stopped right here and started pawing at it, I'm going to take my leash and tell him no, no, as I walk. No. You're just taking baby, baby, baby steps to let that dog know that, hey, there's some pressure here, but don't worry about it. It's not a bad thing. This is totally okay. It's not going to hurt you. And you do it until that dog doesn't care. If you do all of those pieces, then when you grab that leash and you start walking, you're not going to have a dog that's going to paw and try and fight to take it off. Now you've just got an extra tool that you can use. If this video was helpful for you, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell.